All right, so have you ever felt like kind of stuck, like you're spinning your wheels, with tons of things you want to do, but just can't seem to get there?
Ugh, yeah, totally. I know that feeling all too well.
Well, that's exactly where goal setting comes in, right? That's what we're diving deep into today, how setting goals can help you, well, not only actually achieve things, but can also, kind of surprisingly, like boost your overall well-being too.
Interesting. I'm intrigued.
Yeah, right. So for this deep dive, we've got some awesome sources lined up, exploring all sorts of goals, personal goals, professional goals. It's like a crash course in becoming, well, like a goal-setting ninja.
So, like, we're gonna learn the secrets of the goal-setting masters. I'm in.
Exactly. But, before we get all ninja-like, I got to ask, like, what's the big deal with goal setting anyway? Why is it so important?
Okay, so it's like this. It all comes down to, well, actually just deciding what you want, like truly deciding, and then, outlining a clear path to get there.
Hmm. Okay. So it's about making a plan, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a big part of it. It's like giving your brain a roadmap to success instead of, just wandering around aimlessly.
Ah, okay. So it's like instead of just drifting along, we're taking control, setting a course, and actually, getting somewhere.
Exactly. And that's where all these cool frameworks and techniques come in. Like, have you heard of SMART goals?
Oh, yeah, SMART goals. I've heard that term thrown around a lot. But to be honest, I'm not always sure what it actually means.
Yeah, a lot of people get kind of confused by it, but it's actually pretty simple. SMART is just a framework, a way to make sure your goals are, well, well-defined and achievable. It's like a checklist for success.
Okay, a checklist for success. I like that. So what does SMART stand for again?
Okay, so SMART stands for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound.
Specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound.
Okay.
I got it. But, like what difference does it really make if a goal is specific, for example? Why can't I just say, like, I want to be healthier?
Well, saying, I want to be healthier, it's a great starting point, for sure. But it's not very actionable, is it? It's kind of vague.
Yeah, you're right. It's kind of like, well, what does healthier even mean?
Exactly. So a more specific goal, a SMART goal, would be something like, I'm going to walk for 30 minutes every day this week, or I'm going to eat at least 5 servings of vegetables every day this week. You see the difference?
Ah, yeah, okay. It goes from this like fuzzy idea to something you can actually like do, something you can measure, something specific. I get it. So what about measurable? What does that mean in the context of goals?
Well, think of it this way. If you can't measure it, you can't manage it. Right. You can't tell if you're making progress or not.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So instead of saying, I want to read more, which is great, but kind of hard to track, you could say, I want to read 1 book per month, or, I want to read for 30 minutes every day. Now you have a clear way to track your progress, right?
Right. So with measurable, it's all about setting goals that you can actually, keep track of, see how you're doing.
You got it. It's about making your progress tangible. Do you use any specific methods for tracking progress toward your goals?
Oh, for sure. I'm kind of old school. I love a good checklist, pen and paper. But I also use apps sometimes like habit trackers. There's something so satisfying about checking things off a list or seeing those little streaks build up in an app.
Yeah, totally. It's like a visual reminder of your progress, and it can be super motivating. But, let's be real. Sometimes, even with the best intentions, we can set these crazy, unrealistic goals, right?
Oh, tell me about it. I'm the queen of setting unrealistic expectations for myself. And then, well, I just end up feeling discouraged and giving up.
I've been there too, and that's where the A in SMART goals comes in, achievable. The sources we looked at had some great advice for avoiding the trap of setting unrealistic goals.
Okay, I'm all ears. Lay it on me.
Well, one of the best tips is to break down those massive goals, those big scary ones, into smaller bite-sized steps.
Smaller bite-sized steps.
Got it. Yeah. So instead of, aiming to run a marathon right away, maybe start with a 5K. Or, instead of trying to write a whole novel in a month, start with writing a page a day.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense. It's like those smaller goals seem so much less daunting.
Exactly. And the best part is, by achieving those smaller goals, you build momentum and confidence, which helps you tackle the bigger ones.
Ah, so it's like a snowball effect.
Exactly. And speaking of momentum, another key aspect of SMART goals is that they're relevant, that R we talked about.
Okay, relevant. So how do you know if a goal is actually relevant to your life, to your values?
Well, it's all about asking yourself, why is this goal important to me? How does it align with my values, my long-term aspirations? If a goal doesn't truly resonate with you, if it doesn't feel meaningful, you're less likely to stick with it.
Hmm, that's true. I've definitely wasted time on goals that, well, in the end, just didn't really matter to me. So I guess it's all about making sure your goals are aligned with, you know, what you really care about.
Exactly. And that brings us to the final element of SMART goals, time-bound.
Okay, so why is it so important to set deadlines for our goals?
Well, without a deadline, a goal can easily become, just something you'll get around to eventually. But by setting a specific time frame, it creates a sense of urgency and helps you prioritize.
Okay, yeah, I get that. A deadline can definitely light a fire under you. But, sometimes, even with smart goals and deadlines, we can still struggle to stay motivated, right? It's like life gets in the way, distractions pop up, and suddenly that goal feels out of
Oh,
reach.
absolutely. But, the sources we looked at highlighted some really cool strategies for staying on track, even when things get tough.
Okay, tell me more. I need all the help I can get.
Well, one of the most powerful techniques is visualization.
Yeah.
Have you ever tried creating a vision board?
Oh, vision boards. I love those. I'm a very visual person, so the idea of like creating a collage of images and words that represent my goals, it just really speaks to me.
Yeah, and it's not just about making a pretty picture. It's about really connecting with those goals on a deeper level, seeing yourself achieving them, feeling the emotions associated with success.
Yeah, I can see how that would be super motivating. It's like a reminder of why you're putting in the effort.
Exactly. And it's not just about vision boards. Even just writing down your goals and reviewing them regularly, maybe every morning or every evening, can have a powerful effect.
Mm. It's like the more you focus on your goals, the more likely you are to actually achieve them.
Exactly. It keeps them top of mind. But, sometimes the biggest challenges in achieving goals aren't external, they're internal.
Internal. What do you mean?
Well, it's about our own mindsets and beliefs, right? Those pesky limiting beliefs that can creep in and sabotage our efforts.
Ugh. Yeah, limiting beliefs. I know those all too well. It's like that little voice in your head saying, you're not good enough or you'll never be able to do that.
Exactly. But the good news is that there are techniques for dealing with those negative thoughts. One that stood out to me was cognitive reframing.
Cognitive reframing. What's that?
So it's basically about consciously replacing negative thoughts with more positive and empowering ones. It takes practice, but it can be incredibly powerful.
So instead of saying, I'm not good enough to achieve this, you'd reframe it as, I'm capable of learning and growing, and I'm willing to put in the effort.
Exactly. It's about shifting your perspective, focusing on the possibilities rather than getting stuck in self-doubt.
Ah, okay. So it's like instead of letting those negative thoughts hold us back, we're actively choosing to think more positively and, believe in ourselves.
You got it. And what's really interesting is that all these strategies, SMART goals, visualization, cognitive reframing, they all tie in with the incredible psychological benefits of goal setting that the sources highlighted.
Oh, yeah. Tell me about those.
So it's not just about achieving things, it's about how the process itself can boost our well-being, right? Give us a sense of purpose, increase our self-confidence.
Wow, that's amazing. It's like setting goals isn't just about getting stuff done. It's about becoming a better, happier person.
Exactly. It's like a positive feedback loop. The more we set and achieve goals, even small ones, the more confident and capable we feel, which in turn motivates us to set even bigger and bolder goals. It's a journey of growth and self-discovery.
Wow, I love that. So to wrap up our deep dive into goal setting, what are the key takeaways?
Well, I'd say the biggest takeaways are the power of SMART goals.
Mhm.
Making sure our goals are specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. And then, of course, breaking things down into manageable steps, using visualization techniques, and most importantly, cultivating a positive mindset.
Absolutely. And remember, setting goals isn't just about reaching a destination. It's about the journey of learning, growing, and become the best version of yourself along the way.
Well said.
So we'll leave you with this. What's one goal that's been on your mind lately? How can you use all these amazing techniques to start making progress on it, like today?
Yeah, what are you waiting for? Go out there and crush those goals.
That's right. You got this.